to bring to you this presentation in conjunction with 10 Days of Connection, which is a Radical Partners program that is centered around bringing people from all parts of Miami together around different topics. And so today, our topic is about how you can leverage and harness the power of social media to build community for positive change. Without further ado, I'm going to transition and introduce to you Priscilla, Amanda, and Jonathan, and they'll tell you a little bit about what the Little Lighthouse Foundation is all about. Jonathan, take it away.
Good to see everybody. Thank you so much. I'm Jonathan Babika. I'm the Executive Director for the Little Lighthouse Foundation. First and foremost, guys, I really, from the bottom of my heart and all of us, hope that you guys are safe. You know, you and your loved ones, your family, everybody. We hope that you're safe. And, you know, if you can be in this situation happy, that would be even better. So I hope that you all are very safe and happy. We are the Little Lighthouse Foundation, and we are about 10 years old. As I said, I'm the executive director, and you know, I am a leader. You know, Priscilla Roman is an incredible leader. Amanda Jimenez is an incredible leader, and together with our leadership, we at the Little Lighthouse Foundation serve the Miami community. And what we do as South Florida's top volunteer organization is create these programs. And the programs are for children and families in need. They're at homeless shelters and youth centers, children's hospitals, just to name a few. And we go in there with our volunteers who are just so kind-hearted and like-minded, wanting to give back. And throughout the course of the week, we have like a number of programs that we do with kids. And we do like, imagine all of your after-school activities. It's pretty much programs like that. So we have a cooking program, a fitness program, yoga, after school homework help, activity hour, story hour. Those are programs for about 15 volunteers to go in and work with kids in need and give them experiences during a challenging time. Right now, we're hands off, but important for us to come together, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. You know, as we're apart, we got to come together. So I'm going to get into it in a little bit about how we're building our community stronger than ever through what we were kind of forced into. You know, we're hands-on. We go into and we work with the kids and we do all these special things. And now it's like, okay, we got to take a step back. We got to think about this a little bit. So I'm excited to fill you guys in all about that. I want to introduce you to our program director. Just on a personal note, guys, I live in Miami. I'm from New Jersey. I have a 2.5-year-old boy, a 6-year-old daughter as of yesterday. So I love being a dad. You know, during this quarantine, I'm super grateful for spending extra quality time with my kids and my awesome wife, Missy. I love the Little Lighthouse Foundation. Man, I love the opportunity to be able to connect with you guys right now, because like getting these people, getting you guys and us face to face, connecting for a larger purpose is what it's all about. And we can't do this alone. We have a core team at the Little Lighthouse Foundation. Our program director, Priscilla Roman, is like, she is a boss lady. and I mean, I don't know who's in charge sometimes, but I can't do it without her. And we've been leading the Little Lighthouse Foundation for the past 4 years. So she's going to tell you just a little bit about herself. You know, we want to make sure that you guys get to know us a little bit. And she'll fill you in a little bit about, you know, the programs as well.
Yeah. Hi guys. So yeah, I mean, thank you, Jonathan, for, you know, explaining the Little Lighthouse Foundation. Like he said, I'm Priscilla, I'm the program director. A little background on myself, 28, Miami native, my family's Cuban. I'm the, you know, the standard in Miami. So, you know, that's what to expect here. You know, between the three of us, we have a lot of flavor, a lot of, you know, like back and forth. It's, you know, so it'll be fun today. As far as Little Lighthouse and the programs, yeah, we have so much fun. And, you know, with Breakthrough Miami specifically, last year we started our Do Good, Feel Good media program. Diego's on here, and Diego participated actually. And, you know, Little Lighthouse, if you go on our social media pages, and we'll dive in for sure, we take a lot of pride in what we do on all of our platforms. And there's a lot of hard work and love that goes into it, because at the end of the day, we call it Do Good, Feel Good, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's getting do good, feel good content out to people, encouraging that energy attracts like energy. So if you put it out there, that's what's going to come. It's going to be, I see snapping. Yeah, that's how it works. So it's about getting the good stuff out there so we can get more good happening in our community. So all of the technical parts of it, and how we put it together, and how many people are involved, and all of that, there's a lot to it. So we created this program to show a few of the kids from Breakthrough that were interested in media and doing all of these incredible leadership, taking all these leadership roles in their own lives, how they can put everything that we do into use in their worlds, you know. And we're going to give you a little bit of a taste of that in what we do. Aside from that, like Jonathan said, we go to all of our partner facilities and we do cooking, music, dancing, fitness, mindfulness. And, you know, Little Lighthouse is really all about bringing people that want to help and connecting them with the people that need help, and doing that from a place of passion in the way that you're most passionate about. So this is just another example of that. We're passionate about being here. So thank you, Weber, for helping us put this together. And thank you all for being here. And yeah, Amanda, if you have anything you'd like to add, go for it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Jimenez. I was born and raised in Cuba. Actually, everybody that was not born here, can you guys send a flag? Can you send your flag so we can know where everybody's from? In the chat right now. If you were born here, but your family's from somewhere else, we still want to know. So send your flag and we'll take a look at that. We're all so passionate about this nonprofit. Me specifically, my story is a little bit different from Jonathan and Priscilla. I'm the youngest of the three. I was born and raised in Cuba, came when I was almost 10. Oh, Haiti, Puerto Rico. We have another Cuban. Hey, Daniela. I arrived here when I was almost 10. So I interned with the Little Lighthouse once I was at FIU, and I was so passionate about our cause. I fell in love with everything that I did as an intern. And once I graduated, I received a call from Jonathan and Priscilla that they needed a third person. And obviously I didn't even think about it. I was so excited to receive the opportunity. And I have learned so much from this organization. And we hope that through this talk, we can allow you to see into LLF and learn with us. And we're still learning with this quarantine. We've learned so much about each other, about different ways to connect, not just physically. Like, we're so grateful for this platform and Zoom, and we're able to see you guys, and we're able to do a lot more work. Even though it's virtual, it still has a lot of the same impact. So we're just so excited to share all this knowledge with you guys, and hopefully it allows you to take that in and make a change in the future.
So I'm going to start with the first question, and really it's really about, how do you build community? How do you build community?
Yeah, I'm going to jump into it. Hi again, guys. So building your community. We have an incredible community in Miami. The Little Lighthouse Foundation, this is one of our specialties, you know? So I'm really excited to share with you about how we build our community and how we're making an impact. You know, 10 years ago, the Little Lighthouse Foundation was started with just one program. It was Adopt a Meal, which we continue to have today at the Ronald McDonald House Charity. So volunteers go in and they're able to prepare the meal, cook it, and serve it to the families who are staying at the Ronald McDonald House while their children or child is undergoing like a severe illness or injury. And that's where the Little Lighthouse Foundation started its first program. So how do you attract these new volunteers? You know, how do you attract people to be aware of your cause? And the Little Lighthouse Foundation, you know, as it was birthed in South Beach, has a bit of like a cool factor, you know? So we kind of built our community, and the way that we communicate to people is like, it's cool to give, you know? It's like, you do good, you feel good, yes, of course, but you know, like, we want to make it so that like when you're serving your community, like, it's a reputable thing. So the volunteership, that's how the volunteership was built, kind of like we had incredible partners from, you know, different modeling agencies or local restaurants coming in to do the Adopt a Meal program. And in order to cause attention for what we were doing in the community, we created these phenomenal fundraisers. And our fundraising events are arguably some of the best events in Miami. Our annual gala, the Hearts and Stars Gala, we did the first one. It's a weekend of events, started 10 years ago, and it's grown. And we would have had our 11th annual this past March, but we couldn't do it because of COVID-19. But it would have been 3 days of events. The big one, the gala, is 1,200 people. Last year we had Nelly perform. He's a rapper. I hope you guys know him. I hope that's not too old school for you guys. I have a couple of people shaking their head. Sierra, you don't know who Nelly is?
No, I love Nelly. He's from Missouri. I love him. He's one of
Oh,
the guys
awesome.
here. We love him.
Oh man, like what a show. You know?
He's not old school. He's not old school.
Okay, cool. That's what I like to hear. And then, you know, another potentially old school person was supposed to perform this year, Fat Joe. And so, you know, now we've gotten to the point where, you know, we have some performing artists and we can galvanize a group of a donor base, you know, people that come in and support us fundraising events. So that's how we built our community outreach through volunteering and serving our community, and through these fundraising events, we were able to create awareness for everything. And you know, the volunteering is a huge part of creating this community. It's relationship building, you know? Like when you give together at like these programs, and started with Adopt a Meal, but now we have many programs, about 8 on average per week. I mean, when you go into the community and you're working together with somebody and you're giving back, you're forming that bond. So we've really been able to build the community really just based on word of mouth, you know, in the beginning. But then we got supercharged, and Amanda's going to go into it about the social media and how we've really engaged the community, you know, through consistency, through quality content, that we were able to, like, you know, create that traction for each one of our programs.
So Jonathan, it sounds like to me what you're saying is creative engagement is the first step at bringing people into the room, right? Bringing people into the fold, creating really creative ways to kind of bring people together, even before you even start messaging, you know, what you're about. It's about kind of creating some kind of event, some kind of draw that people are going to come to, and then you unveil basically your purpose or your mission.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, on the volunteer side, think about this, guys. Like the first thing that people had said to us was, oh man, I didn't wear my blue shirt, like joking around because they saw me, Priscilla, and Amanda in it. That's one of our biggest marketing tools. You know, we have an army, I call it a sea of blue. You know, when we go out and volunteer together, it's this little Lighthouse shirt and we're all standing together. I mean, that's bringing the community together as one, you know, and people fixate on that. They want to be a part of that. They see the good, you know?
Yeah, breakthrough scholars know a little bit about the blue.
And then, yeah, as Weber had said, yeah, definitely creative, you know, getting people together and doing like an event to create awareness is important. And over the years, we've gotten really creative, whether, you know, you guys are out, you know, you guys tuning in on the Zoom, you know, are interested in fashion. You know, we do a Saks fashion show at Brickell City Center. We were going to launch our new event during Swimsuit Fashion Week in Miami. We're creating all these really cool signature events to bring people together. And really the key element is you know, subtly infusing what the purpose of what we're doing is all about. So to make sure that people are aware through visuals, or whether it, you know, it's representation from the partner facilities which we're working with that are in attendance, and we're you know, bringing that to the forefront.
Cool. And if I can chime in also, when we talk about creative engagement, what works for us is these events, because our 3 founders, their network was primarily in Miami Beach. They were in South Beach. What works in South Beach is a really hot party, is a great party. That's what people want to do, you know? That may not be the case for you. If you're at a club in your school, you got to figure out what your audience is into, what they might want to engage with, you know? This is what worked for us, because if people can, we always say party with a purpose, they can't say no. It's really hard to say no to that in Miami, you know, because that's what people are looking to do anyway. So yeah, you know, it's a really great tool for us to be able to kind of, you know, get people's attention with these events, but you really got to break down your audience and think about what works best for you. What are their interests? How can you, you know, utilize that to kind of engage everyone? So I just want to make it a point, you know, what works for us isn't always going to be what works for you as well. A great event may be the way to go, but the elements within the event, you know, the what you offer people, you know, the experience at that event, you may have to think through a little bit more depending on what your audience is.
So you get them in the building, then what? How do you tell them? Then what?
So we, like corporate partners that we have, we work with companies about getting them in the building, you know, and corporate volunteering is a huge thing for us. We have over 250 corporate partners. And the most gratifying thing is when a company like Northern Trust, and coincidentally, I introduced Diego to my friend at Northern Trust when we worked on the program together. But our friend Eric Vander at Northern Trust wanted to do, he just wanted to give back. You know, he wanted to do 15 people, wanted to go, you know, just do something. Well, we took it over because it's hard. Diego has his business card. You know, it's really like, you got to feel them out. How do you get them in the door? So Northern Trust, interested in volunteering, great. Priscilla is incredible at facilitating that seamlessly, working with the partner facility. Okay, you want to be at Lotus House? Let me coordinate that for you. We're going to do the craft night program. We have a chapter leader from the Little Lighthouse Foundation on site, which is our volunteer program coordinator. And let's make it an extremely, just like a well-rounded, good experience for everybody from head to toe. You know, that's what we wanted to do for the kids, for the Lotus House, and definitely for Northern Trust. So that was getting them in the door, and then they're there to stay. And then, you know what we say is time, talent, and treasure. So if they just want to donate their time, we're so happy with that, you know? If they see the impact that we're making with these kids by coming in and just giving them the biggest smiles ever by doing a craft with them and forming those relationships with the team in blue, because they recognize us every Thursday when we come in from 6:30 to 8 for craft night at Lotus House, then they might be more inclined to support us. And then the time that you can give, the talent, or the treasure, which is the donation, but the talent, of course, we got some great supporters, you know, that come in for like a craft night, whether you're Queen Elsa and you're dressed up and that's your talent, or you're an executive chef from Red the Steakhouse in South Beach and you cook at our Adopt a Meal program, you know, that's what we are inclined to look for as we build out our community. So that's corporate partnerships, but also with the event side of things. And if this is something that you think would speak to your audience, a lot of companies are really just because we do such a thorough job with online marketing and social media marketing, as well as having a key demographic that the companies are very interested in. With Lauren, did you have your hand up?
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I was responding to something on the other side of the house. Ignore me.
I thought she was going to ask the question. What does the word demographic mean?
I was going to get to it Weber?
Oh, sorry.
Demographic. So that's what Priscilla, I mean, that's what Amanda's really going to get into, because it's the way that you can kind of really gauge it is by like the social media platforms. Like, what demographic does Twitter hit? What demographic does Instagram hit? What demographic does Facebook reach? So based on that, I think you guys can figure it out. It's like, you know, the age and gender of who you're targeting. And there's different criteria to make up your demographic, but that gives you a good idea. And we'll get more into that also as Amanda talks about each platform. Also, we have a great opportunity to create a community for the future generations, you know? Point in case, this Zoom right here. But we go as young as, we've gone in and spoken to 3-year-olds. That's definitely simplified. It's volunteering is kindness in action, you know? But it's important to start thinking about that, you know? Like, who do you want to target and who do you want to inspire? Because, you know, over time, they're going to be very dedicated followers for you. And that's just going to exponentially build your community. So we really like to speak to these kids, give them a voice at an early age, because, you know, we're in it for the long haul, and we want to make sure that they're a part of it.
So my question for you is, like, you know, how do we leverage some of these tech tools to build the types of communities that we want to build to impact that change?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and it's a subject that I'm passionate about. So I have my notes in front of me, guys, and my eyes will be going everywhere. So, but I just want to make sure that you guys are taking notes, and I have everything that I want to, all the points I want to hit in front of me. So please have your little notebooks ready, because I am about to give you some knowledge, okay? We're going to start talking about memes. Does everybody love memes? Can you guys send different color hearts in the chat if you're with me right now? If you're into this social media talk, we're going to be talking about memes and all different platforms. So very important when growing your social media platform. I love memes, Weber. Very important when you're growing your social media platform is to know your cause and your mission. So this will lead you to know the next best thing. So the number one would be know your cause and your mission. This will lead you to know your audience. What is your key demographic? This is what Jonathan was mentioning a little bit earlier before. What age range do you want to target? Who do you want to attract? Do you want young entrepreneurs, students, creatives? Do you want more women? Do you want more men in your following? When working with social media, you need to know who you're creating content for, and that will give you an idea of what this content should look like. Now, putting effort into your content. When growing your following, make sure that your graphics carry the essence of your mission. This content should be fun, aesthetically pleasing, and very important, it should be repostable. It should be reshareable. It should be something that you would want other people to share. And it should always include your logo. Whatever colors your logo should have, should be with those memes and that content that you're sharing. So when people see it in different pages, they know where to go back to. So always important to include your logo in every graphic and your hashtags. It's easy to recognize your page, and it will lead the audience easily back to all your platforms. Memes. So by creating memes, you're creating relatable content that will make the viewer feel understood by your page and most likely will follow. They do not need to be funny. You don't need to be Kevin Hart. You don't need to be Tiffany Haddish. You just need to be relatable, okay? You just need to make the person that's checking out your Instagram feel like you understand them, feel like you guys are compatible to a certain extent, and they will follow, they will repost, they will share with everyone, because their group of people should be like-minded individuals. And if she feels like they can connect to your page, then that's a community that's growing, that's putting all the dots together. Very important as well. Know your resources. As a nonprofit foundation, we're very limited when it comes to income, because we would rather put money back to programs like Breakthrough, programs like our Adopt a Meal. Anything that we do, we would rather put money into that than into social media platforms, graphic creation. So very important that you know the resources that you have free. And some that we use that I definitely would recommend to you guys would be Canva. Canva.com is graphic designing made easy. You can use Canva for anything. I personally use it for all things Little Lighthouse Foundation. I use it for my own pages that I'm trying to grow as well. I use it for video editing as well. Pixar is another one that I'm very passionate about. So Pixar has been promoted by huge celebrities like Kim Kardashian. Canva, I'm seeing the chat. Canva is life. I love that. Leva, I hope I'm saying that right. Leva. Yes, Canva is life. Or you can even use Instagram story itself. If you learn how to use the platform and you learn how to do these graphics and edit these simple things, it can make a huge difference in your memes, in your graphics, in your content creation strategy overall. Consistency is really key. So as cliche as that sounds, consistency is a major key alert. I'm quoting who? Does anybody know who says that? Major key alert. This is your time. So consistency is a major key to those who are watching your videos, watching your platform grow, watching your platform grow as you're truly consistent with your actions, very consistent with your marketing strategies and content share. So if you try a different strategy like hashtags throughout all platforms, that will be enough to attract a certain amount of people back to your profile. You just have to be consistent with it. It's actually, it's not Pixar, it's written PixArt Sierra, right there. Always have a call to action. So now that you know how to create these memes, now that you know the platforms that you're going to be using to create these graphics, make sure that you always have a call to action. An easy one that is so useful and so effective, which I would love to start using with the Little Lighthouse, and we have done in the past, is tag 3 friends that you love, or tag 2 friends that you could relate to this meme. So always have a call to action whenever you're having these graphics being created, so they're just not sitting there. Because if it's aesthetically pleasing and it's cute and you don't have a call to action, some people might just, double tap and keep going. You want this to go viral to a certain extent. And very important to have cohesive branding throughout all platforms. Every platform that you have, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, for me, the one that is most effective is Instagram. And then I would say number 2 is TikTok, but that one is so fresh that we still don't know how effective it is right now. It just has a lot of people working on it. But let's dive into Facebook right now. So Facebook has over 2 billion people that use this platform every day. If not every day, then active users. That's a lot of people to have on one platform. So older audiences is usually the demographic that is within Facebook, but they have a good, I would say, a good 25 to 30% that are younger than 40 years old, somewhere around that. It's the #1 business platform because they have the best advertising software. This is the most advanced, whether it's Instagram's advertising platform, whether it's TikTok, anything else, Facebook is the #1 place to advertise your product. Your message needs to be clear. It needs to be direct because the audience is a little bit older. And heartwarming messages do very well on Facebook. The system is way more advanced, so you can target by age, gender, employment, interest, you name it. It's also a great platform for video content. It does way better than images, so just keep that in mind. Facebook usually do videos. So some of the pros would be groups. Facebook has the ability to put like-minded people together, and these groups could have from 4,000 to 8,000 people or more. It's easy to share content there. It's easy to get like-minded people to be interested and follow all your other platforms. Events, very easy to promote events on Facebook because it allows you to go back to the main platform. We use Eventbrite. It also allows people to RSVP. Very simple, very easy. We use it all the time. And now Instagram. I'm talking a lot, guys. I just want to make sure that we're done at the right time, but you have all the info. So Instagram has 500 daily 500 million daily users. It has a younger audience, but it does very well with videos and photos. So Instagram is the best way to have these graphics that you already know how to create, and you already have these platforms. It's the best way to promote. So we remember 80% of the things that we see compared to the things that we read or we hear. So Instagram is very effective because these graphics are actually stuck in everybody's memories, whether it's a meme, whether it's anything that you put out there in a graphic, people will remember at least 80% of the things that you share. Here, the overall flow of your page is what catches the eye. So there's things called themes. There's things called, I think it's just theme, where the page has a certain consistency, and every graphic that you post or anything that you share with other people should be cohesive throughout the entire page. You don't want to post a picture of a duck in the middle of your Instagram when it really relates to nothing around it. I mean, if you have a cute duck, I don't blame you. But, you know, if you're trying to have a business and grow a community, it doesn't really make sense. So we spoke about Facebook, usually a little bit older audience. You do better with videos. There's 2 billion people there, and it's the #1 business platform. So definitely recommend Facebook if you're trying to promote events, if you're trying to promote your business overall. Instagram, younger audience, you definitely want to try to go viral. And by going viral, I don't mean like going viral, like breaking the internet, but I do mean that you have things that are shareable, repostable, and things that attract the eye. Now, Twitter. Twitter is probably one of the oldest platforms, not as effective as the other 2 that I just mentioned, but they do have 300 million monthly users. So that's still a lot. Great for interaction and engagement. So if you would like to use these platforms, I don't know if you guys have seen like Wendy's and McDonald's go at it on Twitter, but it's a great way to market your product, even though it's not as effective as Instagram and Facebook. So the 3 main points I want you guys to obtain from this talk is to know how to identify your demographic, know who you want to attract, the age group, the gender doesn't really matter these days. We don't judge. But you definitely do want to have an idea of who you want to attract. Second point, decide the best way to communicate. Now that you have a breakdown of what each platform is good for, see where you would like to focus all your content creation on and where you would like to drive this traffic to, what platform out of the 3. And then last one, remain consistent with creative content. If you're posting today and you have 2 likes today, that doesn't mean that the same post or a different similar post that you post tomorrow will have the same amount of likes. Keep posting, even though it gets a little bit repetitive at times, even though it gets a little bit disappointing because you're not seeing the growth that you would like to see. Consistency is key, and you will definitely catch the eye of someone or groups of people that are interested in your message and your mission and what you have to offer. So that's it for me right now, folks. I hope that it was, you know, great information that you could use even for yourself, even if you're not thinking of having a community that you like to build. These are great points for personal marketing. When going into the workforce, you would like to have all these details because it will definitely help you in the long run. Mm-hmm.
You need resources to make change. And so your
100%.
followers, your network equal resources. So I know, Priscilla, you're going to go into how we convert this followership, this, you know, our following into resources that we can use to kind of drive home our mission and vision.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also kind of want to build upon everything. Amanda, that was such great information. And I just want to say, when you're talking about whatever your message is, whatever your cause is, it's a brand. No matter how big or small, you're building a brand. The brand includes you. You're part of it. It's whatever it is that you're building. And when you're thinking about your brand, ideally, you want to create something that can be communicated across all platforms. The messaging might be a little bit different depending on who you're talking to, who your audience is, who your demographic is on each particular platform. But consider that. You don't have to stick to one. You shouldn't stick to one. All great brands are across the board on all platforms. So don't limit yourself. And in the spirit of not limiting yourself, I also want to say, you know, let's say you're an organization that you want to appeal to women It's not to say, don't limit yourself to think that you can only have women behind your cause. Don't limit yourself to an age range, to one specific demographic. Your message is your message. You just have to figure out what the best way to communicate that message is to each demographic. That's where you need to kind of figure out your demographics, is just to figure out how you're going to convey the message in a way that's going to appeal to them. But don't limit yourself in thinking that all of your messaging can only appeal to one group of people. You can appeal to anybody. You'd be surprised who champions which cause. People will surprise you. So think that through. Of course, any brand has a larger demographic, but you shouldn't have to limit yourself. So I just wanted to put that out there so you can strategize that as you're thinking. So yeah, I mean, once you have all this great, consistent, creative content that's going out, once you've figured out how to engage all of your audiences on all these different platforms, what do you do with them? How is this going to help your cause? How are you going to mobilize this to actually create any kind of change? So we want to go over some ways that we do that at Little Lighthouse Foundation, and things that I think might apply to you. So grants is something, I'm just going to mention it quickly because there's so much out there for grants, but don't underestimate the power of it. There's people that will grant money to students in schools with causes that they care about. And there's government grants, there's, national grants, there's local grants. So do your research. There's a really great website that we use called instrumental.com. It's instrumental without the last A. And it's kind of a great way to filter down what grants are out there. So keep that in mind. Ambassadors, and then within when I talk about ambassadors, now there's a huge population of influencers out in the world too. You're going to be getting on all these platforms. On every platform, there's going to be influencers. Influencers are such a great way, and when I say influencer, it doesn't have to be somebody with 6 million followers. It's just someone who has any kind of influence in the community that you're trying to reach, or anybody that has any influence over a network of people that you would like to reach. So don't underestimate the, influencers are out there, and it might seem a little intimidating because they have a big following, they have this huge network behind them. They're looking for ways to help. We found that in what we're doing. And it surprised me that it's taken us this long to get to this, but the Little Lighthouse Foundation, actually, when we had to change what we're doing and we're working virtually now, we started on our Instagram something called DGFG Live, Do Good, Feel Good Live. And it's all of these awesome videos that we've been putting together up until COVID-19. Now we took it to Instagram. So we're live Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. And we have a guest on for each and every live segment. And each live segment is a taste of our program. So we do cooking with Adopt a Meal on Mondays. We do story hour or beauty all around on Tuesdays. We do move and groove or craft night on Wednesdays. And we do fit club on Thursdays. There's a ton of chefs that are influencers on Instagram. There's a ton of beauty influencers and bloggers on Instagram. There's a ton of crafty moms and people that want to get involved with craft night. And then for Move and Groove, we have awesome DJs and people involved in the music industry that want to come on. And there's a ton of fitness influencers on Instagram. So we've been reaching out outside of our network. We started with people we knew and kind of the low-hanging fruit, like, oh, we know this person would love to come on and they'll do a great workout. It's now evolved to we're meeting new people, and these are people that are going to come back and be ambassadors and champion our cause when we get back out there after COVID. So don't underestimate reaching out to these people, especially when you're coming from a place that you have a great cause. There's nothing to be scared about. You have a great cause that you're trying to get the word out for, and that's literally what they do for work, is getting the word out about themselves out. So a lot of them are really happy to champion a great cause. So if you think they align with your values and what you're trying to accomplish with your cause, reach out to them, and you'd be surprised the different ways that they'll get involved. Any post, any share, a retweet, a like, maybe they'll put together a cool video for you. People got time on their hands right now, So don't underestimate that. So influencers is a huge way of doing it. Little Lighthouse ourselves, we have a group of Little Lighthouse ambassadors. We have ambassador meetings. They know who we are, they know what we do, and they're happy to spread the word about it. So really, once you get that going, they're doing the work for you. They're bringing people to you like, hey, I have somebody that really would like to get involved, take it away. So when that starts happening, it's a lot of fun. Awards. This is an interesting one that honestly I hadn't considered at all until we started doing this for Little Lighthouse, but nominate yourself for awards. And that can be at your school, locally with other nonprofits. There's sometimes cash rewards that go along with awards, and the recognition that you get from the awards is great. And that may sound a little funky at first, but really it's just a collaboration. It's another collaboration between you and the person that's giving you the award. A lot of organizations don't necessarily, they put out nomination forms because they're looking for people in the community that represent their own organization that are doing great things just like them. So keep an eye out for any opportunities to collaborate with another organization and apply for some of these awards. You guys are already doing the work in your own communities. So it helps so much to get the recognition. And, let's, for example, Little Lighthouse Foundation, we were nominated for an award with the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, and they gave us the award at the gala. Guess what? That's a whole network of people that may not have known who we were, but because we received that award, now they're interested, and all the press that the event planners were doing, we're in on all of that. So that's a great way of putting yourself out there as well, and kind of mobilizing that. Fundraising, and this might differ, we're a nonprofit, so we do fundraising, but if you're working at a school, maybe you're just, looking to raise some money for whatever your next cause is, whatever your next initiative is. But overall, we do online fundraising through a platform called Classy. Really, you can use all the free resources that are out there. GoFundMe is great, especially when you're starting small. Don't be afraid to use a GoFundMe. But do your research. If you want to level it up, there are other platforms on there that will let you do a little bit more. With Classy, we're able to do, so there's primarily two types of fundraising campaigns. One is peer-to-peer. And when we talk about peer-to-peer, what might come to mind is like when someone's doing a 5K and they send you a link and they say, hey, this is my page for this cause, but I'm fundraising on behalf of this cause. That's what a peer-to-peer campaign is. So it's the opportunity for people to kind of take the cause and create their own pages, create their own stories around whatever the cause is. So you kind of put it in the hands of your network, and they take it from there and fundraise within their own family and friends. So that's really cool to see that grow. And then the second kind of fundraising is crowdfunding, which is a GoFundMe. It's your traditional kind of fundraising. So I just wanted to mention those two because there are different types of way to fundraise. Something that, you may not have thought of before. And then of course we talked about our events. Our events are primary fundraisers. So yeah, think about if you do an event, what will it look like for your audience? What kind of experience are they looking for? And then how do you inject your cause and what you're trying to accomplish into the event? And then we have partnerships. Everything we do is through partnerships. And when I say partnerships, it's with other nonprofits, with companies, like Jonathan mentioned, our corporate volunteering, our corporate sponsors for all of our events. We pride ourselves in being flexible, being open-minded, and really being a progressive organization. And we tell anyone can get involved. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways to get involved. Stay open to new ideas on, even if someone wants to fundraise in a way that wasn't what you already originally had in mind, consider it. It might work. It might work with their network, with their group of people. So we have all kinds of partnerships, and I won't go too much into it because I'll take up way more time, but don't be afraid of collaboration. And yeah, our interns. So we say this not from the Little Lighthouse's perspective, but from yours. All of our interns, when they come on board, they're meeting all of these sponsors that we're having conversations with. They're going to all of these events that all of these people are coming to. They're on our social media pages interacting. Our interns right now are virtual. I haven't met our interns in person. Isn't that crazy? But they are amazing, and they're doing so much work, and they're meeting all of these influencers as we're meeting them too. There's new people getting involved, and the interns are the ones helping us make that happen. So, if it makes sense for you, keep an eye out for internships. If you have the time and you have the capacity for it, especially right now, like they're doing virtual internships with us because they can't work. So right now, if you have the time, keep an eye out for opportunities like that, because you'll make connections that can help you in the future. So yeah, those are just a few ways of putting all of this work that you're going to be doing on social media into action, and getting other people involved to really feel the passion that you've put into all of your work. Feel, to champion your cause. If people are really seeing all the passion and hard work that you're putting in, 9 times out of 10, they'll be, at the very least, they'll say, you know what, not that I don't totally support, but I don't feel as passionate, but she feels really passionate. So I'm going to support her just for that, because she's working really, really hard. So people will recognize that and it'll work 9 times out of 10.
On Instagram and Facebook, it's at LL Foundation. On Twitter, it's at LLF News. So yeah, as Priscilla said, we're going live Monday through Thursday on Instagram at 3 p.m. and thelittlelighthouse.org is our website.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Amanda.